Hi, I'm Bob Schmidt with Home Remodel Workshop. When it comes to painting, preparation is actually 2/3 of the work and painting is 1/3. To get a really good final product, you really need to know how to caulk well and to fill holes. I'll give you a few tips and show you how to do it. Let's get to work. As you can see, cutting corners on the preparation time when it comes to paint really leaves a final product that isn't up to par. Contrary to popular belief, no matter how much paint you put in these nail holes, they're not going to fill properly. You really need to use the right product to fill these prior to paint. After consulting with some professional painters, their recommendation was a Alex Plus. It's made by DAP. It's for a paintable type caulk. They said it stays flexible and it's pretty easy to work with. And much to my surprise, what they pretty much all recommended for filling in nail holes is a glazing compound. This whole tub I think cost me $6. I'll probably have enough to fill holes for the rest of my life. But what they said was good about the glazing compound versus some of the other compounds that are recommended for filling in nail holes is that it doesn't absorb paint at a different rate than the wood does. So if you have a semi-gloss or a sheen paint going over it, that it'll actually not dull the paint out where the nail holes are. And what you're trying to do is hide the nail holes, so I would go with their recommendation and use the 33. When you first take the glazing compound out of the container, it's kind of sticky. I was told the best thing to do is to knead it around in your hand, roll it around, and roll it on itself. Let some of the warmth from your hand soften it up a little bit, and it makes it real pliable and real workable. Once you've done that for a little bit, it's ready to go ahead and put into the hole. The best tool to use for filling in these nail holes is your finger. So go ahead and pinch off just a little bit of the dough, put it in the hole without rubbing directly into the hole too much. You want to leave a little bit in the hole. I was told that won't shrink and that'll cover well. At the end of the day, as long as you didn't let this get too dirty or anything, to go ahead, just throw it back in the container. It'll be good to go for the next time. Most small caulking guns have a little hole in the side of the handle for a spout cutter so that when you stick the end of the tube in there and you pull down like this, it'll cut it off. That's not going to give you a very clean cut on the tip of your caulk. You want to keep that small and tight as possible to keep from making too much of a mess. So I recommend that you don't use that. Now everyone I've talked to, as far as the tip of a glue gun is concerned, they say cut as small a hole in there as possible. You can always make this hole bigger in certain events. And then they also make this little plunger on the bottom of most caulk guns that you can puncture if you have a tube in there or a cellophane in there that needs to be punctured. You can use that to puncture it. Now, typically, if this wall hadn't been painted yet and this baseboard hadn't been finished painted, I would go ahead and just put some caulk in here with my finger using the small tube hole. But since this is already painted and this is already painted and I really don't want smears on either one, what I'll do is I'll spray a little bit of Windex on it and a little bit of Windex on my finger before I caulk. And then when I caulk, I put in as small a hole as possible, small of amount of caulk as possible. And that way, when I go to wipe it off, it only leaves the caulk in the hole. Now I make sure I keep plenty of paper towels available and I don't go too far so as to let the caulk dry up so that I don't have to go back and repaint this wall and repaint this caulk to make this look good. So there you go. A few simple little painting tips. Take your time and your finished product should turn out much better than what you're used to seeing. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're interested in more of our videos, please go to our home channel. And if you see what you like, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks.